Hey friends, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. Coming at you live and direct from the Bay Area in California. Super excited to go over some cost-benefit analysis of some single to double premium strollers for you, my lovely viewing audience. So, why do I want to do this? I want to do this because I feel like a lot of these videos don't really talk about the true costs associated with turning these products from singles into doubles and some of the common pitfalls and things that I see dealing with consumers every single day with these products versus people that are paid by these brands just to review them in a vacuum and they have no idea what they're talking about. So this video is going to be long. It's going to be very illustrative. Might be a little frustrating for people if they have their heart set on a certain one and I say something that bums them out. That's all understandable. Again, my channel, my opinions, take that for what you will, and please enjoy watching, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Now, with that being said, let's jump right in. What are we looking at? So this guy on the end, this is going to be the NUNA Demi-Grow. This is a single to double stroller offered from NUNA. This price point is going to be $950, and it will include the stroller seat, lower adapters and upper adapters in the price point. Also an additional sun canopy for this seat that has mosquito netting. It's pretty cool. This guy here is this is made in China. This guy is also made in China. This is the Cybex Gazelle S2 stroller. This guy is going to be a $799 price point. This one will hold two 50-pound kids. This one will, over here, also holds two 50-pound children. This one comes with stroller seat, car seat adapters, little extra basket, rain cover, and cup holder. So quite a complete package here on this dude for the $799. This one right here is the UppaBaby Vista V2 stroller. This is made in China. This has a 2-year warranty. This will only hold a front position up to 35 pounds or 33 pounds, something like that. And the main seat, when it's in its upper position, will hold 55. So this one is the outlier of all of these products because this one has a smaller double seat, which we will absolutely get into. It is physically smaller and it holds less weight. Like I said, price point on this one is going to be the most expensive. This one will be $1,000 right off the bat. Now, the one on the very end here is made in Italy. This is the Agio Z4. This is going to be the lightest weight single to double option out of all of these. So you're looking at 28 pounds on the NUNA. You're looking at about 27 pounds here on the Gazelle. This guy, the Vista, is 28 pounds, and then the Agio Z4 is going to be 22 pounds, so significantly lighter weight. This will also be the smallest to fold up when we get into the folding of it. So let's get right into the nitty-gritty brass tacks. What do we love about these products and what do we hate about them? So one thing that I'll say about Vista, Gazelle, and the NUNA is that they all are incredibly robust with robust tires. The tires on the Agio Z4 are a newer tire. They're much more robust than the original ones that came with. So I would say that all 4 of these options are going to be great choices for indoor to outdoor. They all have the option to lock your swiveling front tires. And people say, well, what does that mean? It means that your front tire on all of these will spin around, but if you're going through grass, gravel, sand, or snow, you'd be better off locking these tires to a fixed position so now they don't swivel. So every single one of these products has an option to go ahead and lock those tires. The one for sure that's going to be the easiest and the laziest is the Z4 because it's a knob on the side instead of down where the actual tires are. Nice if you're in a cold climate and you're wearing gloves and you don't want to have to take them off to deal with, but all of them are going to have lockable front tires, which is great. All of them also have really nice, big, deep sun canopies. So these canopies will get very large. I will point out the Agio has a window on theirs that isn't fully covered. Sometimes that gets criticism. The UppaBaby also has a mesh panel that isn't covered. What's weird is that I'll get criticism on this product, but not on this one, even though this one's more expensive. Yeah, this guy has a mesh ventilation, but it is covered. And the NUNA also has not only this incredibly generous sunshade, but you do get a separate additional sunshade. Like I'm from Minnesota, so where there's a lot of mosquitoes, and that one has netting that comes all the way down around the product to protect you from any bugs. So that's a really nice feature. That being said, let's look at these monsters folded. So one of the biggest gripes about single to double strollers is that they're huge. They eat up all my trunk space. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable gripe, but it also sounds to me like someone's not bright enough to take things apart and stack them as several individual small things versus one gigantic thing. So obviously all of these products will have a fold where they fold up, lock. I'm gonna actually shorten this just a hair. And now this one will stand. The other thing with these guys, as you can see, is when you have the front tires locked, frequently they'll bump into the frame, so it'll make it difficult for you to fold your stroller to impress customers. So you always want to make sure when you're folding a stroller for when you have your stroller business that you kick your front wheels forward, and that way it makes the folding look more seamless for consumers. This guy right now, I have car seat adapters in the basket and it's still folding, which is great. UppaBaby, you make the handle as long as possible, which is totally counterintuitive. And then you fold it. The long handle enables it to be a kickstand. That's the opposite on their Cruise. Their Cruise, you shorten the handle. On the Vista, you lengthen it. So it'll be just as large as humanly possible in your trunk. And then on the Z4, we have triggers that comes down and then folds up like that. So as you can see, they're all relatively bulky, but as I pointed out, several small things in a trunk probably makes more sense than one massive thing. But yeah, then I have to do steps and take things off, and I don't like that. You're the one having 2 kids, so like there's gonna have to be some like concessions made somewhere in order to like get this lifestyle to work. So again, the sooner that you get on board with being cool with doing a little bit of extra work, the easier your life's gonna be. That's just a life tip, not just with kids. Because as you can see, lifting one small thing and putting it in the vehicle and another small thing and putting it in the vehicle is easier than lifting one monster thing and trying to get it all to fit in there. So that being said, I will definitely say both the NUNA and the UppaBaby get lower marks for me in this area because their seats do not collapse. So yeah, the seat has the footrest that can fold back. Not particularly useful. Sorry, I don't think that it's that great of a feature. I think a bigger benefit is like what you see here with the Cybex, or especially here with Agio. I mean, this is unbelievable. Very, very thin. So anytime a seat can collapse on itself and we're able to do a stack and pack situation, like if we had 2 of these seats on top of each other, that will take up less room than probably just one of the NUNA or the UppaBaby seat. So if you're looking for something to get compact and small, or you have a small vehicle, I would automatically push you toward a Z4 or a Gazelle over a Demigro or a Vista. Sorry if you had your heart set on one of the other 2, but this is just practical advice from somebody who sells them. So that's one thing to consider. Another thing to consider, again, with any of this stuff is going to be the cost and the reality of turning it into the 2-kid system. So what does that mean? It means some of these products are going to just be much more aggressively priced than the other ones. The UppaBaby is your most expensive, and their argument is that theirs comes with a bassinet, which, if you're unfamiliar, is a piece that looks like this that will clip onto the frame. So amazing. For a newborn, you can lay them flat. This is difficult for me because I live in an area now that's very space starved. So the Bay Area, California, you could have somebody who's super duper wealthy and like in a big house, but space is still tight. And so they might elect to pick something that doesn't have a bassinet because this will die after 6 months, meaning that this becomes a piece in your home that just sits there that doesn't do anything once the child gets past 6 months old, because this is no longer a safe option for them to be in. So that's something to consider. So yes, it does include it in the purchase price, but that's neither here nor there for me. All of these products are set up to use with a car seat from birth. So all of the brands, except for Cybex, are going to include adapters that work with exclusively their own car seat. Now, Cybex is cool because they give you adapters that would actually work with other brands. So these adapters will work with NUNA, Cybex, Maxi Cozy, and Kleck car seats right off the bat. I am still going to show this and demonstrate it with a Cybex car seat because it's their product. And then NUNA, you have to use a NUNA car seat with a NUNA stroller. So it will come with the adapter piece for that. The Agio, we've already put the adapters on the car seat. And UppaBaby, you don't have to technically do anything to in order to get their car seat to click directly on it. Now their car seat's the heaviest, so that's sort of the trade-off. But as you can see, they all work with their own brand car seats that clip on pretty darn easily. Just like that. So, most of these companies know that American consumers are not going to be walking around with a bassinet. We are far more into driving places and going places in our cars, so it's very important to have the car seat hook up to it. And as you can see, you've got the car seat hook up with all of them, which is great. Now, after they're in the car seat, that's when you would use the stroller seat component, which is how I showed it at the beginning. But let's fast forward. Let's say you have a 2-year-old and you're about to have your next baby. How do these work for 2 children? So, what's very exciting is that the NUNA and the Cybex will come ready to work for 2 out of the box. UppaBaby definitely does not, and the Z4 doesn't either. But the Z4, to turn it into a double, is going to be significantly more cost effective than it is turning that into a double. So, how do these look as doubles? Let's set them up. Cybex is going to be the easiest because everything's all self-included in it. Cybex will also do what's called stadium seating, which is generally the preferred method for parents, especially when they haven't had children yet. They seem to find that the stadium seating is easier to sell to customers than what NUNA utilizes, which is going to be called the inline double seating. So we'll show you that. Cybex, let's take the seat off. Take the adapters off. We'll make the adjustment on the frame with some white buttons. Slide that piece up, put the car seat adapters back on. And now the seat that came with the stroller, the one that came with it right out of the box, that's actually going to hook on to a set of hidden adapters that are hidden on the front of the frame. Very easy to spot with a white button. You twist them and they simply rotate into the correct position, and then we're going to take our stroller seat and set it on the front. I had to hunt for my stroller seat because it was folded. So here we are. This is going to go down here. Get that lined up correctly, the white buttons, hook it up, and then we'll go ahead and put the car seat back on the top. So, what I really like about this is I'm able to put a 50-pound kid down on the front there. And now my new baby is going back into the car seat I used for that child. All of this was included in the purchase price. $7.99 at the onset gets me to where I am. Now, yes, you buy the car seat separately, but you buy the car seat separately with all of these. So this is a really cost-effective way to do a single to double. And what I love is that we're using the stuff we already own. NUNA is the same story. But it's a little different here because they're gonna do what is called the inline double. I'm gonna disagree with the way that they show this for 2 children. There's 2 different ways you can set it up. I'm gonna set it up the way that my customers actually use it. So that would be your newborn on top. And then taking the stroller seat that came with it and putting that into the bottom position. Now, why NUNA does not typically show this in their literature is that parents who have 0 children don't understand this setup. They will argue with you very, very adamantly that no child would ever sit down there, and how dare you suggest they put a child down there. You are basically abusive if you engage in this. It's not true. If you take the time to actually crouch down to where the kid is sitting, they have a complete and full viewing range. The other thing that's really cool about this is that the seat will do a full recline in forward-facing mode, and a little kid is going to be able to get themselves in and out of here with their own autonomy. For toddlers, that's actually really important, and it's something that they love. So when I sell this product and then I have customers coming in and shopping later on, I always see the 2 kids set up like this, newborn on top facing mom and dad, and then the older child down here. If you wanted to do the reverse, you could. You could put this car seat low and this seat up on the top. I'm not going to worry about demonstrating that right now. There's a million pictures of it shown that way. I don't think that's realistic anyway. It's also easier to pop it up over a curb when you have your heavier weight on the bottom versus on the top. But again, what do I know? I just sell strollers. Why would I want to be truthful with my consumers? So again, for $9.50 out of the box, this is ready to go. We don't have to buy anything extra. The other part to consider here is each position will hold 50 pounds apiece. Both my lights went out. I'm talking too much. We're going to keep going. Okay, so we've got 2 of them set up from single to double. If we want to turn the Z4 into a double, we can do that. It will cost us $60. So we paid $7.50 for this as a single, and now we have to buy a doubles kit for $60. But the good thing is that the doubles kit is going to enable us to use all of the stuff we already have from our original purchase. So we have the car seat. The stroller came with the car seat adapters, which are now on the car seat. I'm going to go ahead and buy that $60 kit and hook it up to my stroller to turn it into a double. And again, people ask all the time, like, is this hard to do? No, but I'm also a professional. And so like, I do this stuff a lot. I do think though that whatever you have, you'll get used to, and you don't have to learn 50 products. Thankfully, you're only learning the one that you end up with. So do I think it's possible for people to become familiar with any of these and master them? Absolutely. Even stupid people, I think it's possible. This stuff is designed so well that anyone should be able to do it. Go ahead and fold that up, get our top pieces on there. And now, for that $60, I've got the pieces ready to turn this into my 2-kid system. So I'm going to put the car seat here and the stroller seat that it came with down on the bottom. So the only thing that maybe is a mark against this guy is that it doesn't come ready to hook up for 2 kids off the bat. But for a $60 kit, that's not a bad price point to be able to hook it up from a single into a double scenario. And here we've got them all kind of sitting next to each other so you can see at home sort of how that looks. Now, let's get into this one. The frustrating thing for me about UppaBaby is that it's the most expensive product, but they are the most guilty of nickel and diming their consumer at every conceivable turn. So the person who bought this, bought it and they were like, yeah, I've got it because it does everything. Now I'm going to take my car seat and stroller and turn it into a 2-kid system. Okay, you can do that. But here's where it gets weird. This is the main seat that the Vista comes with. This seat is not going to be the seat that clips onto the front that turns it into a double. They force you to buy a second seat, a fully different seat that is physically smaller. And I am showing these next to each other because I think it's really critical that customers understand that this rumble seat, which is the second seat, is significantly shorter, smaller, holds less weight than this seat does. All of these strollers you're looking at behind me, with the exception of the Vista, will hold 250-pound children. The Vista is not going to do that. There's no construction of reality where I can make that possible. They have created this product deliberately so that there is no way that you can hack to put this in the lower position down there. It's just not possible. So the seat that it came with, we're not going to worry about that because it's not going to fit on the front. And everybody wants their toddler down on the lower position and their baby in the taller position. So in order to achieve that, we're going to buy this extra seat from UppaBaby. That is $220. So it is already the most expensive stroller. And now they're asking for an additional $220. Surprise, when you have your next baby, you get to pay that to turn it into a double. And I think it's wild to ask a big 2 or 3-year-old to now move into a physically smaller seat. If you've ever dealt with a 2 or 3-year-old, you know they're really, really good and they never vocalize any complaints or tell you they don't like anything if it's different. So yeah, really cool that it's a totally different seat and shorter, smaller. I'm being very sarcastic here. Then you have to buy additional plastic pieces for $30 in order to have enough space for your car seat to even fit on it. So you're buying the lower kit and the upper kit, or excuse me, the lower rumble seat and the upper adapters for an additional $250. So here, this seat's only going to hold 33 or 35 pounds. This seat holds 50. That seat holds 50. This seat holds 50. But here you better hope and pray that your toddler doesn't get past that 33 or 35 pound weight limit. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to fit in that seat. But the UppaBaby's the best. All my friends have it. They have spent so much on advertising and they are so ubiquitous in this industry that it's really hard to sort of undo the love that people have for this brand. But I think it's really critical that people understand that they are paying up for something that might not fit their child when they get to that point, okay? That's all I care about. I don't care what you buy. I just want to make sure you understand how it works and that you're not bummed out down the road and you say to me 3 years later, I want to return this product because you didn't sufficiently warn me that I wouldn't love it as a double for a theoretical baby I was going to have down the road. It's not a realistic thing to put on stores and salespeople to know what you're going to end up doing. And that's why doing this research up front is 100% critical, and I really applaud you for watching this to learn this. Now you're empowered with this information and you can make a better decision about what works for your budget and what works for your lifestyle. Is UppaBaby the most attractive of the group? I don't know. They're all strange looking to me. So it's a hard argument for me with this one to get super excited about it as a single to double. If somebody loves it just as a single stroller and they don't mind the price point, then I'm totally thrilled for them. But you'll never get me in a situation where I'm going to say this is the best single to double option on the market when there are so many options that meet lower price points, do more things, fit heavier children, and fold smaller. It's just a very difficult argument to make. Yeah. So that being said, how do they push? Well, here's the part that nobody wants to hear. The NUNA for sure has the best push, and it's not because it's the best stroller, it's because of the physics of this style of stacking the children. On any of these guys, when you put a heavy child over the front of the stroller where the swiveling tires are, it's going to be more work to push it, and it's going to feel front heavy because you have a big 30 or 40, 50 pound kid in the front. It's going to be harder to maneuver. If we have all of the weight of the product stacked over the back tires and nothing over the front tire, of course this is going to push better. Now, number one complaint, I don't have a big basket anymore. Yep, you're gonna have to figure that out. You're gonna have to do a backpack or hang bags off the side. You'll have to become creative with storage if you want the better push. And that's been true of that style of product forever. There's other inline doubles, believe it or not. It's not just NUNA. Mountain Buggy used to make a 3-wheeled running stroller like this. Phil and Ted's made strollers like this. So this is a common practice for pushing that's easier, but again, your storage is going to suffer. On these guys, we're at a smaller footprint, we're at a lighter weight product. This one holds an incredible amount of weight in the basket. I don't know what the basket limit is on this one. I'm guessing it's probably like 15 to 20 pounds at that. It's a smaller basket, but they're both excellent. They're both gonna go indoor, outdoor. Cybex is definitely, I think, a little shorter nose to tail. And also the Cybex has the lay flat recline, whereas here, the type of recline on this one, and this one. So the Vista, the Z4, and the NUNA is all tilt in space. Cybex is the only one that gives you a lie flat style of recline, which I really, really like, and that will make it completely unique. So your true cost here to get this set up, and we're not counting the cost of the car seat, is $1,000 for the stroller and then $250 for the extra pieces. So you're looking at $1,250. Here, you're looking at $810. Because it's $750 plus $60. Here you're looking at $799, plus you get a cup holder, plus you get a rain shield. And here you're looking at $950. But you do get the extra canopy, a little easier push. So, do I have a favorite? No, I think they're all great for different reasons. I think each one has its merits and has things that are fabulous about it. I love that UppaBaby does tune-up events to keep their strollers looking nice. None of the other brands offer that. So again, I've dogged it a little bit, but there are things that are really great about Uppa. Additionally, they're the only brand that uses real leather. The rest of these brands are gonna use vegan. My preference is for the vegan, but again, it's whatever you're into. So pros and cons to everything, differences about the products. If you have any questions or comments or would like to know more, please feel free to leave the comments and questions below. The Cybex, the Agio Z4, and the Vista all have an option for a third kid to ride behind on a standing board. The NUNA, you could theoretically do that with the bump rider board, but it won't work with 2 children sitting on it, obviously, because of the positioning. But you could do an older and a younger with a riding board here with a non-NUNA riding board that could attach to it. So yeah, thank you for going the distance with me. I'm glad that you came along with me on this journey. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments, leave it below. Please feel free to hit like or subscribe. I love talking to you and having you come visit. Yeah, and anything else, feel free to give us a call too. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video.